Is this on? Oh, it is, yes. Hello. My first number tonight will be...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official press conference ahead of the World Athletics Under-20 Championships here at the Kasarani Stadium. We're extremely happy to be back in Kenya 4 years after an unforgettable edition of the World Under-18 Championships. It is my pleasure to introduce World Athletics President Seb Coe, Athletics Kenya President Jackson Tuwei, and the event ambassador and world record holder for the 800-meter, David Rudisha. So I think I'm going to now hand over to Seb for his opening remarks, if you want to take a look. Thank you, Seb.
If you don't mind, Laura, I'm going to add a separate epithet to the roll call of honor that you just gave David Rudisha, because in my view, David Rudisha is the greatest 800-meter runner of all time. And that pains me to say it, but I'm delighted. Actually, it doesn't pain me. It gives me great pleasure to say that. David, your performance in London in 2012 is still one of those jaw-dropping moments that we all remember in our sport. And I'm also delighted to be joined by my great friend and Federation President of Athletics Kenya, Jackson Tuwei. This is a big moment. We've just come from the Olympic Games. That was over 200 countries competing. This is slightly less, but it still makes it the second largest athletics gathering of the year. My goodness, what a world championship this promises to be. We have over 1,000 athletes from over 100 countries. We have an ANA team, we have a refugee team, and let me immediately place on record my immense gratitude to Tegla for the vision behind the creation of the refugee team. I had great pleasure when I was here in 2017 going to see her training camp on the edges of this great city, and we were delighted as World Athletics to support that program to what it is today. So this will prove to be a huge competitive outlet for so many countries here, and a huge opportunity for viewers around the world. I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, to enjoy these championships. Those of us who were here in 2017 for the under-18s will remember that this really was a fantastic championship. Sadly, on this occasion, for very obvious reasons, we don't have the noisy, passionate, informed fans that Kenyan athletics has always produced. But nonetheless, this will still be an outstanding championship. Athletics in Kenya is a religion. My career was so defined by so many of the great Kenyan athletes. And there are so many medalists that have gone on from these under-20 championships to perform at the very highest and the most credible level in world athletics. But the under-20 championships is important not simply because it's an outlet for competition. It also is one of those great bridgeheads in our sport. We know, anybody that coaches, many of the member federations know, that the greatest dropout rate in our sport is between the ages of 18 and 20. Very few athletes that even win medals at World Athletics Under-20 Championships go on to represent their national teams as senior athletes. So the opportunity for those athletes not only to be inspired, but to remain in the sport is hugely important. And I know that also from the many coaches and the many federations that I speak to. And that's why so many federations are grateful to be here. And there are medalists that have competed in the World Athletics Championships that will be in these championships. Mondo, obviously in the past, Usain, and of course the great David Rudisha have gone on from outstanding performances in World Under-20 Championships to compete at the very highest level and win the greatest accolades in our sport. At these championships, there will be 13 rising stars from the Tokyo Games. And we want to, and if you want to know anywhere in the world how to watch these championships, I know that in Kenya people will be wanting to watch them, but we are a global sport, one of the only two true global sports. And if you want to know anywhere in the world where to watch this event, then please get onto our World Athletics website. Our sport has fared better than many in the last 18 months in terms of maintaining competition throughout these very challenging COVID pandemic months. We were determined at the outset of last year, and certainly the outset of this year, to cancel as few competition opportunities as possible. And I'm delighted that we have done pretty much that. And under extremely difficult circumstances, we have still maintained the integrity of the athletics program, whether it's the one-day meets or our WAS championships. And our determination to continue to provide those opportunities leaves me with my few concluding remarks. I'd like to thank the local organising committee for their support throughout this process. I'd like to thank Athletics Kenya and its Federation President Jackson Tuwei. I'd like to thank the Kenyan government and the sports minister. And I would particularly like to thank the President of the Republic. I was delighted to be in Mombasa yesterday, sharing a very special moment with the President and many of the Kenyan athletes that won medals in Tokyo just a few days ago. And I had the opportunity to speak privately with the President. But the overwhelming view that I took from that conversation was his love of athletics, the importance of these championships, and his determination for Kenyan athletics to continue to prosper on the global scene. And that's important because the next 4 years are unprecedented years for our sport. It's the way, I guess, the calendar has come together under these difficult circumstances. But next year, we, of course, move smoothly into a World Championships in Eugene, another World Championships in 2023 in Budapest. Athletics in 24 will, of course, be center stage in Paris at the Olympic Games, and then into another World Championships in 25. So these championships are important. These championships are important for the athletes, their progress through our sport, for those coaching structures and those federations that continually and successfully support them. And I'm particularly delighted to be joined by our young and rising stars on this platform this morning, but particularly to you, David, and to you, Jackson, for being here. We are looking forward to these championships, and I would just like to place on record my thanks to everybody that has made these championships possible. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Seb. Jackson, if you want to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much. President Sepko from World Athletics and the whole team from World Athletics, our event ambassador, David Rudisha, and the world record holder of 800 meters since 2012 in London. He actually ran this race himself in 2006 in Beijing, China, when he started running, and he won that event in China. So we are very grateful that he is one of the products of the World Under 20. Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to, first of all, welcome all of you, and particularly those of you who are coming from outside Africa, outside Kenya. We are very, very happy to see you here. We are very happy to welcome you to Kenya. And I believe that you are going to enjoy yourselves while you are here as much as you are working and reporting about the event that is taking place here in Nairobi. The weather here has been fairly warm, but sometimes it can be a little bit cold. So we are actually in our winter. Between June, July, and a bit of August is normally our winter. But I hope you will enjoy while you are here, because we would have liked maybe that the weather was fairly warmer than this and better, so that because we are called, Nairobi is called the city in the sun. So I'm sure it will improve as we go along. So thank you very much. And this particular event, World Under 20, we presented our bid to World Athletics earlier on in the 2018, and I want to thank the World Athletics under the leadership of President Ko for accepting our bid and giving us the hosting rights. We are very, very happy. We are very grateful to the World Athletics for this opportunity that they have given us to host this championship of the World Under 20. You are aware that the last one that was organized was in 2019 in Tampere, Finland, and therefore that could not have happened last year because of what you all know about the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are happy that at least this particular time we can host this event despite all the challenges that we are going through still through the pandemic. I'm sure we are all going through testings and the protocols, and even as you travel, it is not like normal where you travel freely and you have a free environment and free engagement with other people. But for this particular case, I'm sure you are all here, and we will take care of you in terms of testing and taking care of all the protocols. And I hope you will enjoy, and when you go back while healthy and safe. That is very important. So our athletes could not train much the whole of last year, 2020, because of the pandemic. But as we still go through this challenge, we are happy that we can meet together, we can come together, and we can come and allow our athletes to compete in a free environment. Unfortunately, of course, there will be no spectators, but this is purely because of the safety and the health of everybody else, and particularly the athletes. I want to thank again the World Athletics for giving us this trust. We as Sebastian Coe said, we hosted the World Under 18 in 2017 right here. And I believe maybe a few athletes out of that team have come back to Nairobi. I hope they have. And they will come and realize that the environment that they left here is still good, and I'm sure they are going to enjoy that. Otherwise, we would like the athletes to enjoy themselves, and we would like to see that they compete in a very nice environment and good facilities and in good acceptance here. And therefore, I want to thank the government of the Republic of Kenya for giving us the trust to organize this and for giving us the support that we needed to organize this event so that you can all come here and enjoy as we continue. Allow me also to thank the sponsors, to thank the supporters and all the stakeholders for coming to support this event here. Otherwise, I wish you all the very best of luck. Enjoy yourselves. Those of you who may want to remain after the event, we have got a lot of other areas that you can visit, areas of interest, so that when you go back, at least you can talk about this city and this country in a more detailed way. Because some of you may be coming to Kenya for the first time. Please take some time and look around and see what the country has got to offer. Otherwise, I want to wish you all the very best of luck, and God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, General Tuwei. Thank you for hosting us here in Nairobi. David, I remember when you were here back in 2017 for the World Under 18, how proud you were that the world had come to Kenya. You must be immensely satisfied that this event is again taking place here in Kenya. What is your take as a Kenyan ambassador here?
Thank you very much, World Athletic President, SEPCO, Athletic Kenya, President, General Tuwei, all protocol observed. Good afternoon. Well, I'm very glad, to be here and for the World Under-20 Athletic Championships to be hosted again in Nairobi. It was a great success in 2017. And I'm glad that we are hosting again now the junior. Actually, I want to say that when I go back and I want to say about what our president of World Athletic promised, that he's going to bring more event close to the people. And this is one of the evidence that whatever I say, he meant it, and we are seeing more event coming to other regions across the world. So I'm very happy that we are hosting this event, and this is one of the biggest events we are hosting as a country since the inception of athletics.
David, you accomplished so much in your career. 2 Olympic gold medals, 2 World Championships gold medals, the world record, which no one will forget. But your career started at the World Under-20, just as Seb and General Tuwei mentioned. In 2006, you won the World Under-20 title. What memories do you cherish from that event? And as an athlete, what advice would you give to the new generation?
Well, the World Under-20 is a very important event. These athletes who are going to participate here are the future of our sport. And I remember back in 2006 when I went for the junior in Beijing. That is where actually I started my career. And I remember when I won that night, I was very happy. And that gave me a lot of hopes that I can make in athletics. So this event is very important because these are the athletes we are going to see them gracing, the world stage in the next few years.
Thank you, David. We now can open the floor to questions. If you have any questions for either David, Seb, or General Tuwei, there is a standing microphone at the end of the row here. So I will please ask you to raise your hand, and then when you're called, move to the microphone. If you have any questions for either of our hosts. Yes, can you please move to the microphone and tell us who do you address the question to?
My name is Lynn from the BBC, and my question goes to the World Athletics President. Can you hear me? Yeah, SEPCO. And I will divide my question into 2. And first, of course, one of the stars at the World Under-20 this year is Christine Boma. Not only because she won a silver medal, but because of her gender as well. And I think this is the first time that the gender conversation will be happening at an age group tournament, or rather age group championship. So my question is, as World Athletics, what kind of support, if any, either now, a conversation that's being had, when it comes to supporting such athletes, and especially when DSD comes up when they're so young? That's my first question. What conversation are you having as World Athletics? And the second part of my question is, has there been open conversations with member federations, especially African member federations, on how to handle DSD athletes, from how to break it to the athletes and all that? Because I've had athletes who've told me they found out about their gender on newspapers, on press, and really that can't be right.
Well, I can assure you that all the relevant conversations that should be taking place are taking place. I doubt very much whether there is any validity to any discussion about this kind of information being relayed through the media. I find that almost impossible to believe. And I'm certainly not going on this platform to go into details of any discussions, but rest assured that our health and science teams that are very well equipped and extremely well qualified to deal with some of these challenges as they do across the whole range of medical, climatic and welfare issues related to all athletes.
Thank you, Seb. If we have any more questions? Anyone? Well, if we don't have any more questions, I will thank all of our hosts. There is one question. Oh, Jessica, if you can go to the microphone, please.
Hi, a question for David. I just wondered, at the 2006 championships, you also competed in the 4x400 metre relay. There's also a mixed relay taking place at the World Under-20s for the first time at these championships. Are you quite excited about the prospect of seeing the mixed relay in action here?
Well, I remember very well that after I finished my 800 meters, I participated in the 4x400 meters relay. And Kenya, we became fourth. We just missed a medal. And I was the anchor. So I was a little bit disappointed because we were in a good position. I was given the baton in the second position, but I was just beaten by a British athlete, just a few meters to the line. And relay is one also of my best event because I also do 400, and I'm more like a 400, 800 athlete. So whenever I watch relays, it's one of the events that I also love. And my father used to run the 4x4 100 meters. They represented Kenya in the 1968 Mexico Olympics, and they won a silver medal. So I'm glad to see that also the mixed relay is going to take place in these championships, and I think it has brought a lot of excitement, and the World Championships and even the Olympics. So it's a great event because it really is whereby we not only an individual athlete, it's more like a team athlete, teamwork to win. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? What was your fastest 400 meter relay split?
I have got no idea.
Must have been quick.
I guess so. I think I can do 44 comfortably.
I'm sure you can.
Because I did my BP here 45.15 early on in the season in 2013.
Did you use blocks?
Yes, I did, but I was very poor.
Okay.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Seb. If we don't have any further questions, oh, there is one more question. Carol.
This is a question for David again. Just wondering what advice you would give to these athletes and almost 1,000 other athletes we have here about making the transition from good junior to great senior.
Well, my best advice to the junior who are now competing here, and of course they are the future that we are looking after for them to take over. And all I can say is, athletic is about the passion. When you love what you do, I think you can go to the, you can push to even the highest level. And here we have some few medals to be won, and no matter what position or how you compete here, the performance that will come is not the end of everything. We have so many successful athletes who have also competed in the junior and who have never even participated in the junior, but they come out later and they do very well. So it's just about participation and enjoying and also testing themselves with the other junior to see where they are, at what level they are currently. So the best thing is just to continue with the training and hard work and following the right channel so that they can become successful in future.
Thank you, David. I think the gentleman in the middle has a question.
Thank you. My name is Bernard Rotich from Daily Nation, Kenya. And my question is maybe for the two of you, Sebco and General Tway. We've seen athletes competing well in the junior, and there is a problem when they are transiting to the senior level. Maybe what is the federation maybe doing to support the athletes so that they can shift from the junior level to the senior? And maybe what is World Athletics doing to support the federations to do that? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. You see, the transition from one stage or one grade to another sometimes can be a very challenging issue. But the only important thing is, of course, to make sure that the athlete is trained well. The athlete has got the confidence to actually make that transition into the senior level. And the goodness sometimes is that even at the junior level, those who qualify for the next event, like for example, the World Championship or the Olympics, is also allowed to go and compete in those other senior events. So that gives them the confidence to actually see that they can do it. So that confidence and encouragement and good training, and of course, above all, good discipline. An athlete who doesn't have a good discipline cannot progress to the next level. So it's important that all those issues are taken care of so that they can then continue with the confidence that they have been given. Thank you.
Well, the main challenge, of course, of World Athletics in maintaining that transition was our determination to do as much as we possibly could to avoid cancelling junior competitions, and this was the one that we were most keen to hold on to because we didn't want to go maybe 4, even 5 years without a World Junior Championship for the athletes to be inspired and for the federations to be funded often in return for the performances that their junior athletes deliver. The other area that we have been very keen to establish, and that is through the relationship we have with coaches, is to spend specialist time, some of it online in the last year, some of it face-to-face, where the challenge of coaching athletes from the age of 18 through to the senior ranks has been specifically targeted. And any coach that's here today and any coach here with our delegations will tell you that that is the most challenging time to guide an athlete. Often it's when they're leaving education. Sometimes they're trying to combine that with a full-time career, and sometimes funding becomes quite difficult. So we will always support member federations wherever they have initiatives to engage coaches, and specifically those coaches that want to understand a bit more from senior coaches that have done that journey with athletes before to help them along that journey. But the main impetus with this will always sit with the member federation, because it's the member federation that employs the coaches. And I would always suggest to member federations that the greatest consideration in the appointment of coaches should be that coaches are really qualified to take athletes through that transition.
Thank you, Seb. Thank you, General Touay. I think this can conclude the first part of this press conference. Thank you, David, as well. If you give us a few minutes, we're going to sanitize all the microphone and change the setup. Because of health and safety issue, we're going to have to split the athletes press conference into 2 parts, so we'll be ready in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much once again. Thank you, General Touay. Thank you, Seb. Here. Sit here in the middle. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks, yourself.
Good. Sylvia, do you want to sit here next to me? Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have here with us Sylvia Chelangat of Kenya. She is the Kenyan 400-meter under-20 champion. And we also have with us Laith Pillay of South Africa, who is the 400-meter under-20 national champion, and he's also competed in Tokyo just a few weeks ago. So I'm going to start with Sylvia. Sylvia, thank you so much for being here today as a representative of the Kenyan team. I believe you're going to compete in the mixed 4x4 tomorrow, is that correct?
Yeah.
And that is actually the first event on the program tomorrow morning. So Sylvia will be one of the first to actually step on the track. How excited are you to finally actually competing here in Nairobi on home soil tomorrow morning?
Okay, I'm very much happy.
You can remove your mask when you speak. Thank you.
The president of the World Athletics and the officials, good afternoon. Okay, let me take this great opportunity to welcome you to my country, Kenya. And I do believe that you are going to enjoy yourself until the time you go back, being healthy with a lot of joy. Okay, so far we are well prepared, looking forward for the World Championship under 20, of which it will be held tomorrow. Actually, this is the first time I'm going to compete in the World Junior Athletics. And this is the time that I'm going to test myself on where I am. But what I can just assure you is that I'm going to try my best to the maximum so that I can see on which position I'll be. On the side of sprints, because I'm 400 meters athletes, we are well inspired by Ferdinand Omanyala running 100 meters race, who seems to be determined. Actually, is the one motivating me to do a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sylvia. I know you're competing here in the 400 meter. As I said before, you won the national title at 400 meter. But I was watching an interview on YouTube where you said that you actually want to do triple jump, high jump, 1500 meter. Is that right? Do you also jump and run the 1500 meter?
So far, I started running last year, whereby I haven't attended any World Junior Athletics. That's why I've told you this is the first time that I'm going to see myself where I am. But actually, I'm going to know, this is the time that I'm going to know where I am so that I can go to 800 meters. But my target is to become an 800 meters athlete, being inspired by Mary Moraa.
Thank you, Sylvia. Good luck for tomorrow. Laith, welcome here. Laith, you're actually one of only 13 athletes who were both in Tokyo at the Olympic Games and are competing here in Nairobi as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Olympic experience? What was it like competing on the track in Tokyo?
I could sit here all day explaining that. It was a movie for me, really, especially being able to travel with a lot of great athletes like Wade and Akani. I mean, for me alone, that was like already out of this world, and then being able to compete at that platform was also phenomenal. And
earlier this year, you also competed at the World Relays in Poland, the Tokyo Olympic Games, the World Athletics Under-20 Championships. You've been really, really busy this year. What has being competing with the senior athletes taught you this year?
It's been a big eye-opener, and it just showed me like what is required and what you have to put in order to become an athlete at that elite level. But I mean, it also just reinforced my love and passion for the sport, and it's made me hungrier than ever.
And Laith, obviously South Africa has a bit of a love affair with the 400-meter race. Wade set a fantastic world record back in Rio. Did you watch that race? I saw that you have a picture with Wade. How has Wade been an inspiration for you?
I'd say it's more the human element he showed towards me. Like whenever I've engaged with him, he never engaged with me as the 400 meter world record holder, but just as, like a mentor figure in my life. And even though it's like, not like in a massive way, but I mean, wherever we can, whether it's just simple chats on the plane to compete or, just giving advice, pointing out, I mean, that stood out for me.
I think you have one of the fastest times in the entries, if not the fastest time here in Nairobi. Do you have any specific ambitions for this championship?
I'm just here to run and see what I can do.
Thank you, Lyth. If we have any questions for either Lyth or Sylvia, again, the process is the same. Raise your hand and then you will have to move to the stand microphone. Any questions? Yes, Gahol, please.
Question for Lyth. Obviously going to World Relays in Tokyo probably brought with it a lot of pressure. Do you think those experiences will help you here as one of the big contenders in that it doesn't feel so intimidating, I guess, once you walk out on that track?
Yeah, most definitely, and that's also why a lot of the coaches from Team SA opted to put me to start, so at least I can feel that pressure before a big event and then better learn to cope with it for this event.
Yes, if you could please stand up and move to the microphone. Thank you.
Hi, so my name is Ese from Nigeria, and my question goes to the South African athlete. Oh, the two. So basically, athletes are prone to injuries. So how do you deal with with injuries as an athlete? And secondly, what's your mantra whenever you go to compete?
Do you want to go first, Sylvia?
Okay, as an athlete, injury is normal.
And do you have a mantra before stepping on the track? Something that you do? No, before stepping on the track, what do you do? Do you talk to yourself? Do you have superstitions? Nothing? Yes. Something that you do before stepping on the track? Any superstitions? Anything that you say to yourself?
So before I step on the track, I normally do a lot of warm-up.
Thank you, Sylvia. Lyth?
So yeah, with regards to injuries is a part of, well, injuries are part of an athlete's career. It's just the two main important things are injury prevention once you do have an injury, taking the necessary time and putting the necessary measures in place to recover from it efficiently. And it has been difficult, but at least I've been able to learn from it. And fortunately for me, it happened last year, so I didn't really miss too much with it, and it gave me time to take time out, and I wasn't under pressure to speed up my recovery. And then with regards to competition, I'm pretty much easygoing. I just warm up and put foot on the track.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions for either? Oh, we have a lot. Yemi, if you want to go first.
So my question is for Lyth. As the African under-18 champion in the 400, does that put you under any kind of pressure? And how do you hope to inspire other African athletes here at the World Under-20 Championships?
So coming in the competition, I don't really think about those past titles or like my past performances. So I just try to come in, I always believe that an athlete is always as good as his next race, not his previous race. So always come in and just try to produce the best I can do on the day. And also, I do it for that 10-year-old boy I used to be, looking up, watching these athletes compete. I mean, for me, that's who I do it for.
Jess, do you want to go next? Yes, thank you.
Hi, Jess from World Athletics. A question for Lyth. I just wondered, obviously you've competed on the senior stage a lot this year, but how important was it still to take the opportunity to compete at an under-20 championships while you can?
So throughout the whole year, under-20 championships have been the main focus. So every other competition or race was just in preparation for this event.
Thank you. Any more questions from the floor? Then we can do the similar process. Thank both Lyth and my dear friend Sylvia for being here. And then we're going to sanitize the microphones and we're going to ask the next few athletes to come on the stage, please. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Thank so much. Good luck. Thank you. Sacha, tu peux venir? Akira? Comme tu veux. Comme tu veux. Tu peux te mettre au milieu. Angelina, you want to come over? Thank you. Akira, come and sit here. Thank you. So we have three amazing athletes here with us for this third and last part of the press conference. So Akira Nugent of Jamaica, 60-meter hurdles world under 20 record holder. Sacha Zoya of France, also national record at various events. We're not going to list them all. And Angelina Topic represented Serbia, who's competing here in the high jump. I'm going to start with Akira, who's sitting right next to me. Akira, you've had a sensational season this year, both indoors, outdoors. Obviously, you set a PR at an amazing 12:76 in the 100-meter hurdles. You've won national NCAA titles. What is the one thing that you're most proud of so far?
Well, so far, going into national championships, like at the collegiate level, it's basically being elite, but not fully elite. And being able to go there and like win national championships, it really shows that I have great potential in like the elite level when I'm ready to go the senior level.
And not only are you a fantastic sprint hurdle, but you are also a very fast sprinter on the 100-meter flat. I believe you've decided to opt for the hurdles race here. How's that?
Yes, the sprint 100 was actually just because I was feeling like I wasn't really ready, prepared for like outdoor season. So I said to my coach, hey, I'd like to run the 100. And I even shot myself because I did not know I was that good at flat sprints. So basically, I'm going to just stick to hurdles though.
And Akira, you are currently at the Baylor University, is that correct? Now, Baylor University has had a lot of track stars like Michael Johnson, Jeremy Warner. What is it like to be living the college life in the US?
It's not easy. I'm going to be so honest, it's not easy when it comes on to like school and practice. But when you have a great medical team, you have a great coaching staff and sport management team, it becomes really easy and you make great adjustment if you're willing to give it a try. It's like track. You just have to try and love it. Nobody likes school. I really don't, but but like I make it work because at the end of the day, if I get hurt or anything, I'll be able to have my education to like further me.
Thank you, Akira. That was a very honest response. Like everyone else here, I'm sure you must have watched the Tokyo Olympic Games on TV, and especially that 1, 2, 3 of the Jamaican sprinters in the 100 meter. So are you a Elaine Thompson-Hera fan? Are you a Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price fan? Who is your biggest inspiration?
No comment.
You can say all of them.
I guess that works. But I think I'm mostly gravitated to Shelly because like she's a people person and she's really motivated when it comes on to like speaking to the younger athlete, and she's really outgoing. And like growing up in the track world, you're gonna want to be a Shelly, you know. But like she's really amazing, and I really think I admire her work ethics and how she do things on and off the track. So I really look up to her.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Angelina, I'm going to move on to you. We met yesterday at the training. Hello. So thank you for being here. I know it's not easy for you, but thank you for being here. With your personal background, it was an evidence for you to be in track and field. Your mum is a triple jumper. She won a world bronze medal. Your dad is a high jumper. He won many medals. Can you tell us a little bit about how you were brought up on an athletic stadium?
Well, since I was young, my parents would always bring me to the trainings with them. I would go with them to the training camps, and well, they were like, well, my dad was jumping or coaching my mom, I would just kind of run around the stadium and stick to the high jump mats, and that kind of made me, I don't know, fall in love with the sport. And then in 2013, my parents opened the sport club, athletics club, which I'm still participating in and competing for them. And I don't know, I'm really glad to that I could be able to like continue something that they started, and also make some history on my own, like step out of the shadow. And yeah, I'm really glad to have them as people who already went through all of this, who can support me and show me the path to victory. I don't know.
Thank you, Angelina. And this is your opportunity to actually make a name for yourself. You're only just 16?
Yeah, I'm 16.
Is that right? 16 years of age. And you've added 7 centimeters to your personal best this year alone. How has the season been so far?
Oh, it's unreal and indescribable. This is one of the biggest moments in my life, definitely. I can't even describe what I'm feeling. I don't even know what I'm feeling. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm sitting next to one of the best athletes in the world that I was just a few months ago only watching on TV, and now I'm here with them, and someone else is watching me. I can't even describe it. So this season was definitely the biggest jumps in my career. I don't know, I'm going to give my best at this competition, as always. And what happens, happens. I don't know. Only being here is a gold medal to me. And, but, I mean, a gold medal would be nice.
Best of luck, Angelina. I'm now going to move on to Sasha. Sasha, thank you for being here today. I think as like most of us here, I'm not going to say in this room because we're outside, but most of us here have been following your path, you know, to these World Under-20 Championships. You are an extremely talented young man. Pole vault, hurdles, combined events. You can do it all, I think. But why the hurdles? Why have you chosen the hurdles? Where does the love come from?
I think the hurdles, the love comes from at the very, very start when I was a very, very young boy, about 11, 12. It was the first event that my mum started coaching me in. So the first event that I got technical with, and ever since then I decided to stay technical with it and put all my passion in with it. So I think a big part of it comes from the love of my mum that she has on the event, and I'm going to continue it, and hopefully I can take it a lot further than I am now.
Is that an Australian accent that I can hear?
Yes, so I grew up in Australia. My mum is from France, so I was raised by a French mother. Dad's from Zimbabwe, and then I was somehow raised in a different country, Australia. So got the Australian accent and fluent in French, and yes.
So what kind of French accent do you have?
Je parle français assez bien, je crois.
What? Sasha, at the European Under-20 Championships in Tallinn, you ran an amazing race, but unfortunately it was slightly too much wind assisted. Still, you ran under 13 seconds. What did it feel like to run under 13 seconds? Did it actually feel different?
Surprisingly, I thought that the race wasn't going to be a sub-13 race because there's too much wind. For me, as a hurdler, I come too close to my final last 3-4 hurdles. So the last 3 ones I hit, which slowed me down in the race. So I was like, oh, the time's not going to be there without knowing the wind during the race. Across the line and I saw a 12:98, which could have been a great time, which I would have been very happy with, but unfortunately, too much wind. So I was shocked with the time. Hopefully that today, or no, not today, sorry, but in the next couple of days, the 20th and the 21st, there can be some no winds or maybe just a little bit of a tailwind that can help me get to that sub-13 time that I'm chasing. And then if it's a legal time, then I'll be very happy.
And actually, the French tradition in the 110-meter hurdles is quite astonishing. From Guidru to Ladji Doucouré, who I believe is here as your coach, Pascal Martineau-Lagarde, Willem Bellossian, who's actually the current holder of the world under-20 record. Is this a legacy that you want to continue building on?
Yeah, I feel like pole vault and the hurdles are two very French events, and they're events that French have been extremely exceptional with their performances in, especially the hurdles. And I feel like we got a great generation currently. Pascal, who's near to his end of career, but he's still doing exceptional things. Willem, who's coming up, who's doing exceptional things as well, who won the European Championships. And look, if I can become the next French hurdler that can do great things, I'm absolutely aiming for that. Training with Ladji Doucouré, who obviously was a GOAT in the hurdles, helps a lot. And look, every advice that he gives me, I'll take on board, and I'll hopefully do the same things that he could have done.
And obviously my last question would be looking forward. I know we have the World Under-20s here, but in less than 3 years, I believe, the Olympic Games will be in Paris, Paris 24, home soil. Are you thinking about it? Is it in the back of your mind already?
It's been in the back of my mind. It's already been in the back of my mind for a while now, ever since it's got announced. I feel like everyone wishes for a home games, and being a French athlete competing on home soil with the French crowd, especially the Paris crowd, because I train in Paris at INSEP, behind you, cheering for you, it's something that's exceptional and something that a lot of athletes won't be able to experience in their career. So absolutely looking forward to that. But before that, I've got to qualify myself, so I've got to go through all the steps and not skip a few, because then the chances of going aren't as much. So take my time, do the World Juniors, try and qualify for World Championships, do the steps, and then hopefully the big one of Paris 2024.
Thank you, Sasha. I'm now going to hand over to anyone who has a question for either Angelina, Sasha, or Akira here. Again, raise your hand. Carol, you can be first again. It's your birthday, actually, today. Happy birthday, Carol.
Thank you. Do you want to sing happy birthday, Laura?
I could, but it's going to start raining, so I'd rather not.
Question to Sasha. Just wondering about your coaching setup. I read that you had 3 coaches at INSEP. Is that still the case? And how do they interact, I guess, to guide you?
I've got a couple more than the coaches that I have here, because obviously I train half the year in Australia and half the year in France. So in France, I'm training with Ladji Doucouré for the hurdles, and sprints is Dimitri Dominière, who's the coach of Jimmy Vicou. So they work together at INSEP, where I'm training when I'm at France. And then when I'm in Australia, I have Jason Moyle, who is a hurdle coach, and then Lindsay Bunn, who is my sprint coach. And they pretty much work all together. They exchange communications on the telephone, obviously, because they can't, because they're in two different countries, but they exchange communications, sending videos and stuff, so they can all work together to coach me as one.
Thank you, Sasha. Yes, Michelle?
Question for Akira. Jamaica has often been seen as mostly a sprint nation, but we've seen in recent years that that's changed. We've seen in the triple jump, in the long jump, and now you've just had an Olympic champion in the hurdles, which came as a bit of a surprise. How important is it to you to showcase that Jamaica is more than just sprinting, and showcase that the technical events like the hurdles are also a strength?
Wow. Jamaica in track is like the US. So it's a case whereby Jamaicans were unexpected athletes, because it might be a case where we're not known for certain events. Worse not the hurdles, because I know everybody was like, we weren't going to medal in that, but I know better, you know, because I'm a true Jamaican. But based on what you're asking, the younger generation that is coming up right now, it's really unpredictable to say a lot of stuff based on how the times that we're running at this particular age, because a lot of us right here went to the Olympics this year, and we're like really young. And for example, I don't want to say her name wrong, but I think she's from this continent that came second in the 200 meter. That is incredible, like literally incredible. So based on your question that you're asking me, I can't answer it, but the future can.
Thank you, Akira. I think we have time for one last question. Yes, please, if you want to move to the microphone. Thank you.
My question goes to Sasha. Sasha, you are the under-20 European champion, obviously seeking to be the world under-20 champion. Does it mean anything to your African roots that it's happening in Africa?
Yeah, already when I came in, I haven't been to Zimbabwe or South Africa because that's where my dad works for a long, long time. So coming back onto Mother Africa, it's a great feeling, and it gives me a different vibe that I've been getting, obviously in Europe and in Australia. So being back here, I feel like it's going to give me a boost. Obviously, being closer to my father, who's in Joburg right now, it's going to give me a little bit more of a boost, communication, and just being on home soil as well, because I do find this Africa is home soil for me as well.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Thank you, Angelina. Thank you, Akira. I think we can conclude this press conference and wish these athletes the best of luck for the competition. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. We are going to gather for a quick photograph. We're going to respect social distancing. Sylvia, if you want to come back on stage, and live as well, if you could want to come back up. And Zach, do you want to coordinate? Yes. Yes. Zach. Go on. Yeah, one with the athletes. We've got this. Yes? Everybody's happy? And then all together. Come further. Come further. Come over. Akira. Come over. Akira, can you come over this side? And thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Are you going to take it?
With Alice. Alice.